This lunation is going to put a spotlight on our deep emotions, our home, our domestic environment, our ancestors, our families. It's going to highlight our emotional security. And because this lunation is also aspecting Mars in a sextile aspect, it's going to bring a lot of passion and excitement to our emotions. And remember, Mars is transiting right next to Uranus. Uranus is also sextiling Venus. Venus is the ruler of the transiting south node. So perhaps we're going to get some pleasant surprises. Something from the past is going to resurface at the time of this lunation. So this is something that is definitely positive and something to look forward to. Pleasant, exciting surprises. We also have transiting Uranus sextiling Saturn. That is another positive aspect of opportunity. One of the tough, challenging aspects at the time of this lunation is the opposition from Mercury to Pluto. Both these planets are not aspecting this lunation directly. We're going to feel the probing energy of this opposition between these two planets. It's probably going to force us to go deep down into our hidden emotions. It's going to bring up issues that we probably don't want to deal with, but these feelings and resentments can no longer be avoided. Mercury is also sextile transiting Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. This is a very helpful aspect because if we deal with our problems or whatever is challenging us at the time of this lunation, we might get some type of good news, a good result. And another reason is also because Venus and Saturn are forming a very harmonious and supporting aspect, a trine aspect. This is going to be really helpful towards relationships, emotional agreements, the situations that are going on in your home area or with your family or whatever house Cancer rules in your natal birth chart. The trine from Saturn to this lunation is bringing some type of emotional stability. This aspect is going to help most of us not lose our shit. We're going to do things in a systematic way, in a controlled and mature way. This is the approach that we're going to use to deal with our problems. Venus is also transiting Neptune. It is a white trine, however, I'm going to put it in there. This is a fantastic dreamy aspect that is going to help falling back in love easier. As we all know, Venus has been burnt. So this means that most of us have had problems with our relationships or perhaps money transactions. Venus is going to become visible after the 7th of July. So we're going to see some type of improvement in our relationships and in our financial dealings. I feel like this lunation is giving Venus a very warm bubble bath so that she may arise as the evening star after the 7th of July. So if things have been kind of rough and difficult for you, look to the 7th of July. Look to the 7th of July also to make brand new beginnings because you want to start new beginnings while Venus is visible. Venus is also sextile transiting Uranus. This is also going to bring some excitement at the time of this lunation. This lunation is going to heal some of the pain, deep pain that we've been going through while Venus was invisible. Hello YouTube, my name is Rachel Mayo, your personal astrologer. I'm going to be discussing how the new moon in Cancer is going to affect you according to your ascendant sign. I'm also going to talk about what your ruling planet is doing at the time of the lunation. If you're new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed, please do so now. It's absolutely free. I would like to say a big thank you to all my new subscribers and to all the people that take the time to leave me a comment. Commenting and liking my videos really helps my channel grow. Lets the YouTube algorithm know that you're enjoying my content. This way YouTube will push my videos to other people who love astrology. I'm still doing the contest for a free solar return chart reading. All you have to do is comment free solar and subscribed. You must be subscribed to my channel in order for me to pick you as a winner. I would like to give a shout out to my friends at astrologyinternational.org. This is an astrology forum. If you love everything about astrology, please come and join the discussion. It's absolutely free to join. I'm going to leave a link to the forum in the comments below. I'm going to encourage you to listen to the entire introduction of this video, simply because this is where I go over the aspects The aspects can help you evaluate how this lunation is going to affect you according to your own natal placements. So please listen to the entire introduction, especially if you're a cardinal sign. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. This lunation is really important to you and may actually be quite challenging. For some of you. Aries and Libra are going to square this lunation. A square aspect is a challenging aspect. You're probably going to be pushed into taking action. Capricorn is also going to be highly impacted by this lunation simply because you're going to oppose this lunation. So this means that other people are going to oppose you, perhaps your marriage partner or your business partner or whoever you're in contract with. The water signs are going to have a better experience with this lunation simply because you're going to trine this lunation. A trine aspect is the best aspect in astrology. It allows the energy to flow in a harmonious way towards your water signs. Things are going to happen for you rather effortlessly. The earth signs will also have a better experience with this lunation, going to receive a sextile aspect. This is a harmonious aspect that will bring you opportunities, but you have to take action on these opportunities. If you don't use this energy, it's just simply going to dissipate. You'll have missed opportunities. If you were born on or around the 5th of July, you're going to have this spectacular energy in your solar return chart. You're going to have massive brand new beginnings in your Cancer house. This is an excellent time for you to get a solar return chart reading. You want to know which house this energy is going to fall in. This is a life-changing year you're going to remember for many years to come. The full moon in Cancer is happening on the 5th of June at 5:58 Eastern Standard Time. This is New York time. So make sure you're using the correct time for your location. The full moon is going to be at 14 degrees of Cancer. The sun and the moon are conjunct at 14 degrees of Cancer. This conjunction of the luminaries is the definition of a new moon. This is a new moon that I've actually been looking forward to because the last lunation in Capricorn was quite challenging for most. I really like this lunation simply because Venus, the ruler of the South Node, is a part of this lunation. And we're also getting a much needed supporting trine aspect from Saturn, who's now transiting retrograde in the sign of Pisces. We're also getting supporting sextiles from the sign of Taurus. This lunation is probably going to be quite emotional for most of us, simply because Cancer is a water sign. Cancer rules the 4th house of the zodiac. This is the IC. The IC is the most vulnerable point in the zodiac. So most of us are going to feel quite exposed and vulnerable. The 4th house rules over our home, our family, our deep hidden emotions. It rules over our mother. It also rules over our ancestry, our background. The IC also rules over the homeland. This lunation is going to put a spotlight on our emotions, how we feel nurtured and how we want to be nurtured. Are you getting enough love and nurturing from your home, from your family? The 4th house also rules over our hidden emotions, perhaps hidden resentments that we have towards our family or our ancestry. This lunation is a new moon. However, it's also going to feel like a full moon because before we begin something, we probably have to end something. The 4th house is another house of endings. Saturn is also in a house that brings endings, karmic endings. Saturn is transiting the 12th house of the zodiac. This is also where things come to end and die. This is the house of our generational karma. The karma that we did not create. This is karma that we inherit because of the family that we belong to, the family that we were born into. This is generational karma. Saturn is going retrograde, going back over old issues in the house, in our Pisces house. So whatever is ending at this time is something that is past due. It's something that we've probably been holding on to for a while. And Saturn is showing you by going retrograde what is no longer useful, what is no longer worth holding on to, perhaps what is no longer your karma. Perhaps it's time to release that generational karma and that ancestral karma. This is a very deep and emotional lunation. If you like the content of this video, please hit like, share, and subscribe. Let's look at the chart of the new moon in Cancer. We're going to start evaluating this lunation by going directly to the sign of Cancer. And in the sign of Cancer, we have both luminaries, the moon and the sun, at 1420 degrees of Cancer. This is the highlighted degree. This is the degree that is going to activate other things in your chart. The conjunction of the moon and the sun is the definition of a new moon. In the sign of Cancer, we also have transiting Venus at around 22 degrees of Cancer. Venus is the ruler of the transiting south node in Libra. This is what is going to make this lunation feel a bit karmic. The ruler of the transiting nodes is widely conjunct this lunation and aspecting Saturn by a very harmonious trine aspect. Saturn is currently transiting at around 19 degrees of Pisces. He's transiting retrograde, digging up old karma. So if you've been good while Saturn has been transiting the sign of Pisces, he's going to give you back good karma. However, if you've not been good while he's been in this sign, he's going to bring karmic endings for you. This lunation is aspecting the sign of Aries. Chiron is still transiting in the sign of Aries at around 23 degrees of Aries. So this is a square aspect by sign, but it's very wide in orb. The sun and the moon are also square the transiting north node in the sign of Aries. The north node is around 10 degrees of Aries, so this is still in orb. Square to the north node is called a skipped step. Square from the luminaries really highlights the previous solar eclipse in Aries. Is there something that you skipped over, something that you did not initiate or complete on whatever missed action that you didn't take at the time of the solar eclipse? This lunation is at the midpoint of the solar eclipse in Aries that we had on the 8th of April. So this is more like a checkpoint. We have to check in within ourselves. Whatever we initiated at that solar eclipse is now at its checkpoint. So we may be pushed into taking action if we did not take action at the time of the solar eclipse. The new moon is sextiling Mars, who is currently transiting in the sign of Taurus. Mars is the ruler of the transiting north node. Here's another reason why this lunation is going to feel very karmic. It's aspecting both rulers of the transiting nodes. Venus by a wide conjunction. Venus conjunct this lunation is going to bring some type of love and healing, some type of deep nurturing. We may have to deal with some type of old wounds or some type of rewounding at the time of this lunation. Another reason why I feel this lunation is going to feel really karmic, I keep saying karmic, is because a lot of things are being reactivated at the time of this lunation. Mars is also going to reactivate the previous Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. We had this conjunction on the 20th of April. I can't really remember the date, but I'm sure that is the date. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below. Mars is going to reactivate that conjunction. Some of us might be seeing results from the prior Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, while some of us will be dealing with a skipped step, something we failed to complete or initiate at the time of the solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, the total solar eclipse in Aries. On the topic of karma, Saturn is going retrograde, going back over things in the house of Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It is the house of endings and of generational karma. Cancer rules the 4th house, where the lunation is. It is another house of ancestors and our deep roots. We're also getting a supporting aspect from transiting Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Uranus is currently at around 25 degrees of Taurus, and he's aspecting Venus, who's been hosting Uranus for almost 7 years. She's now hosting Mars, who's also going to conjunct Uranus probably by the 15th or the 14th of July. This is a conjunction that is going to bring a lot of electricity. This conjunction is a synodic cycle between these two planets. Mars was last here 2 years ago. This is a whole other video, so I just want you to keep in mind that Mars is doing a lot of work while he's in the sign of Taurus, reactivating the prior Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and he's also going to begin a new 2-year cycle with planet Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Another reason why this lunation is also going to still be positive and bring a lot of opportunities and healing energy is because of all the other aspects that are happening at the time of this lunation, at the time of the new moon. Even though they're not aspecting the new moon itself directly, there's a lot of blue lines in this chart. You see a lot of sextiles and trines. So whatever is ending and beginning at this time, you have the support of other areas in your chart. Aries ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 4th house. This is where you'll have a brand new beginning and perhaps an ending, because whenever we begin something new, we probably have to have some endings. Aries, like I always tell you, if you haven't listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go and listen to the introduction, because I talk about all the things that the fourth house rules. So I'm just going to make it nice and short. The fourth house rules the IC. The IC is the most sensitive area in our chart. So this is probably going to be one of the most sensitive nations for you, especially because Saturn is transiting the 12th house and bringing up a lot of generational karma, while you're already dealing with your family, your ancestry, your mother, issues in your home. Some of you may be having a brand new beginning because you're moving houses at this time, or something is going on with one of your parents, most likely your mother. The fourth house is a parental axis, it's an angle opposite the 10th house. It rules over the parents. The fourth house will probably rule over the more nurturing parent, which could also be the father, but generally it's the mother. So something could be going on with your mother at this time, or perhaps you have a new beginning because that mother is now living with you. Others could have a brand new beginning because your family is expanding, it's getting bigger. Perhaps the brand new beginning is a birth in the family. Others will have a new beginning in their emotional health simply because they're deciding to deal with their resentments towards their ancestry or their family. The square from Venus to Chiron is pushing you to deal with your emotions. And remember, the solar eclipse was in your sign. Perhaps there's something that you skipped over, something that you didn't complete, or perhaps something that you did not initiate. This lunation is reminding you to take care of business. Your ruling planet Mars is actually aspecting this lunation, and this is empowering for you. You're being given opportunities to make new beginnings in your to make new beginnings in the Cancer area using the energy of this lunation. So a sextile aspect is an aspect that needs you to take some type of effort. Is your ruling planet that's saying you need to be proactive, you need to do something, it's time to take action. And whatever you initiate at this time, this is something that is going to last in your life for a very long time to come. This is something that is probably calming. And this lunation is aspecting your sign by a square aspect, activating the skipped step. Taurus, ascendant, sun, or moon. This lunation is happening in your third house. This is where you'll have brand new beginnings and perhaps some endings. As we all know, whenever you begin something, something has to come to an end. The third house rules over our immediate environment. It rules over our neighbors, our siblings. It rules over communication. It rules over the gadgets that we use on a daily basis to make our life a lot easier, our phones and our computers. Taurus is probably going to have a very good experience with this lunation simply because the sign of Taurus sextiles the sign of Cancer. This is a very supportive and harmonious aspect, which is going to bring you opportunities to advance your Cancer house. Venus, your ruling planet, is part of this lunation. She's not exactly conjunct the lunation, but she is impacting the lunation simply because she is transiting the sign of Cancer and is aspecting her own sign with a sextile aspect. Sextile aspect is an aspect of effort. It means what you have to look out for opportunities and you have to apply energy, effort in order to take advantage of these opportunities. Otherwise, the energy of the sextile aspect will simply dissipate. So please take action. Venus is the ruling planet of the transiting south node. So this might be very karmic for you. And you have Mars transiting your sign, activating previous conjunctions. If you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go and listen to the introduction because there's more information that you can use to decipher how this lunation is going to affect you according to your own natal placements. Venus is forming a challenging aspect with Chiron. This is a square aspect. So this means that certain things that you have not dealt with are going to be brought up at the time of this lunation, and you're going to be challenged. You're going to be forced to take action in some way to attend to wounding, perhaps wounding to your self-esteem or your ability to make money. However, this lunation is asking you to have a new beginning with your sibling, with your neighbor, or perhaps a new way of communicating or a different way of self-talk. This new moon is asking you to be kind to yourself and nurture yourself. Speak to your sibling or people in your immediate environment in a better way, in a nurturing way. Since the third house also rules education, basic education, some of you could have a new beginning in that you decide to get some type of training to learn a new skill or perhaps to learn a new language. Some of you will have a new beginning, living in a new neighborhood. The third house rules over our immediate environment. Perhaps that is what is going to change, and that is a new beginning in a new neighborhood, a new immediate environment. Some of you are essentially going to be moving at the time of this lunation, or at least you're going to start thinking about moving. Gemini, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your second house. This is where you'll have brand new beginnings, perhaps some endings, because whenever we initiate new beginnings, something has to come to an end. The second house rules over what we love and value. It rules over our family, the family that we create with another person, perhaps your husband, your wife, or the friends that we've had in our life for a very long time, and they start to feel like family. It also rules over our mouth, what goes in and what comes out. This house also rules over our earning ability. So some of you could have a brand new beginning with your earning ability. Perhaps you're starting a new business venture at the time of this lunation. Some of you could have a new beginning with your family, in that you have an addition to your family, or perhaps you start a business with a family member or a person that you consider family. Others could have a new beginning in their diets. The second house rules over the mouth, what you put in the mouth. You could start a new diet that is much more nutritious, and healing for your body. Your ruling planet Mercury is not directly aspecting this lunation. Your ruling planet is opposing Pluto at the time of this lunation. And this is an aspect that is asking you to dig deep with issues in your Leo house and your Aquarius house. So there is some mental probing or investigation going on at the time of this lunation. Probably busy dealing with opposition from another person when it comes to these two houses, Leo and Aquarius, because you are transiting the sign of Leo and not aspecting this lunation. Cancer, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your sign. It's happening conjunct your ascendant, your sun or your moon. If it's on your ascendant, it's going to aspect you personally, because the ascendant rules over the body and how other people see you. So you're probably going to be dealing with opposition from others and how you want other people to see you. You may have a change in your name, or you may have your change in your identity. Perhaps some of you are going to get pregnant around the time of this lunation, or some of you are becoming a parent. How other people see you is going to change in that way. If it's your moon sign, it's affecting you deeply and emotionally. It's affecting you on a personal level, in that it's going to affect your deep emotions. It's going to affect your home. It's going to affect your mother and your ancestry. There will be new beginnings in these areas. If it's your sun sign, you're going to have a brand new beginning in your identity. You're going to change or want to have a brand new beginning on a deep soul level. This is also going to be something other people are going to see, because it's part of your identity. Cancer is always affected by any lunation, simply because they're always part of a lunation. This is going to be actually much more meaningful for you, simply because this lunation is squaring the lunar nodes, activating the skipped step. Cancer, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go back and listen to the entire introduction, simply because this is your new moon after all. So everything that is said in the introduction is impacting you directly. I feel that this new moon is going to be very positive for you, simply because of the aspects at the time of this lunation. There's a lot of sextiles and a lot of trines, and this new moon has a conjunction with Venus. Venus is going to bring an element of healing and love. But let's keep in mind that Venus is making a bit of a challenging aspect to Chiron. That's going to kick up some old wounds that are probably going to need attending at around the time of this lunation. But don't stress. You have the support of Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn, and Capricorn is a sign on your descendant. This means that you're going to have the support of a partner, or somebody who you are involved in some type of romantic relationship, more of a long-term relationship. Or you're going to have some type of support from a counselor, a lawyer, or any other person that you deal with. They're looking out for you from your Pisces house. So there is some support here. And you're also having a supporting aspect from Mars, the ruler of the transiting North Node, who's currently transiting in the sign of Taurus. Mars is aspecting this lunation by a sextile aspect. meaning that there's a lot of opportunities that is going to be available for you to make whatever new beginnings that you want with yourself, with your identity, with how other people see you, with your soul. If you use all the positive energy that is available to you at the time of this lunation, this could be a very successful new moon for you, Cancer, especially if you were born on or around the 5th of July. That means this new moon is in your solar return. This is an excellent time for you to get a solar return chart reading with me. Book me at rachel-mayo.com. Others of you could have a brand new beginning with their whole identity. Perhaps you go for a total body makeover, or perhaps you go for a brand new hairstyle. Whatever you're changing at this time is deeply personal. This is your opportunity to change whatever you've been, to change something about yourself to something that is truly meaningful to you on an emotional level, or something that has to do with your soul and how you want to exist in this lifetime. Leo ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 12th house. This is where you'll have a brand new beginning and perhaps some endings, simply because whenever we initiate something new, something has to come to an end. Leo is always involved in any lunation, so this means all lunations, this means you're impacted by all lunations intensely and on a personal level. The sun, your ruling planet, is always involved in any lunation. This lunation is going to feel extra special or extra impactful simply because the sun is aspecting the transiting north nodes with a square aspect. A square aspect is a challenging aspect. It's probably going to push you into taking action. And this square aspect is called the skipped step. So there's something that you probably missed or did not take action on at the time of the solar eclipse the total solar eclipse in Aries. This is going to be highlighted and is going to need your attention at the time of this lunation. The 12th house is a hidden house. The 12th house rules over generational karma, and this generational karma is karma that we did not make. It's karma that we inherited from our past generations, or because of the family that we were born into. The 12th house also rules over hidden places like hospitals, asylums, jails, prisons. It also rules over far off lands. This is also the house that rules over our hidden enemies, and sometimes our hidden enemy could be ourselves through self-sabotaging habits like drinking too much, doing drugs, or getting involved in illicit affairs. With the two luminaries in the 12th house, this house is going to be lit. You're going to be able to see all the things that were hidden from you. So this means that your hidden enemies could be exposed at the time of this lunation, and you may have to deal with them. And if your hidden enemy is yourself as a result of self-sabotage, this is an excellent time for you to have a new beginning by accepting that you have addictions and you want to get help. This is an excellent new moon to have a new beginning with treating your addictions. It's an excellent time for you to start therapy or to go into rehab. It's also an excellent time to get spiritual healing. 12th house is the house the house that rules over spirituality, all the things that and places that we cannot see, but we know they're there. This is a house that also rules religion and belief. This is an excellent time to use prayer as a way to find some type of healing emotionally and spiritually. It's also an excellent time to ask for help from the other side. It could be through and this could be from your ancestors. You could get this help or the messages of how to help yourself through your dreams or through some type of psychic communication. The sun is aspecting Saturn in a very positive aspect, in a trine aspect, and Saturn is transiting in an area that is an area also of generational karma. Pisces is the 12th house of the zodiac, so you have activation of 12th house energies from two houses, and Saturn is trying to make karmic endings in this house. He's probably digging up things from the past, going backwards and seeing what your deserved karma is. Have you been good? Is your karma that you're going to reap at this time good karma or bad karma? That all depends on what's really going on in your own natal birth chart. The sign of Leo does not aspect the sign of Cancer. There is no aspect simply because they're next to each other. They don't see each other, but you're getting these aspects which are highlighting what is going on in this house. And these are very supportive aspects. So if you need to get some type of healing, you need to go to rehab, it's going to be somebody else there who's going to give you a shoulder to cry on, or a helping hand. So this is an excellent time for you to have these deep spiritual brand new beginnings. If you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go back and listen to the introduction, simply because you are ruled by the sun, and the sun is always involved in any lunation, and the sun is also aspecting the sign of Aries in a skipped step. This is very important to your soul evolution. Virgo ascendant, sun or moon. The new moon is happening in your 11th house. This is where you'll have a brand new beginning and perhaps an ending, because whenever we start something new, something has to come to an end. The 11th house is a happy house. I love to see lunations here. And this is simply because the 11th house is the house of rewards. It rewards all the work that we did in the 10th house. This is the house where we receive the accolades, the promotions, the recognition from our peers. And this is simply because it rules over our hopes, dreams, and wishes. This is where they sometimes come true. House also rules over our friends, the social media platforms that we belong to, the groups that we belong to, the clubs and organizations that we are part of. It also rules over our uncles. It is also the house of benefactors. So this means that you might be having a brand new beginning in the groups that you belong to. Perhaps you're finally going to be able to join a social media platform that you've been wanting to be a member of for a very long time. This other new beginning could be as a result of the achievements that you have finally accomplished, and you're getting recognition from your peers. So you have this new identity in the groups that you belong to or the organizations that you belong to. Others of you could have a new beginning in a friendship. Perhaps you have a situationship with a friend, and you decide to take that situationship to the next level, and you have a new beginning in that way. Your ruling planet Mercury is not aspecting this lunation simply because Mercury is transiting the sign of Leo and is opposing the sign of Aquarius. There is something that is going on between these two houses. There is a conversation with another person because of the opposition. There is some type of probing and digging up of information, and things being needed to be brought to the surface and finally dealt with. So you're probably not paying so much attention to what's going on in your Cancer house, especially since this is more on a subconscious level. You're not really seeing the effects of this lunation because there's so much more going on between you and Pluto. So perhaps this new moon is going to be seen more through your friends and changes that are going on in the groups that you belong to. Simply because your ruling planet is not really a part of this lunation, there is no direct aspect. Libra ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 10th house. This is where you'll have a brand new beginning and perhaps an ending, because whenever we begin something new, something has to come to an end. The 10th house is an angle house. So whatever is initiated on an angle aspects all the other angles in your house. So this lunation could absolutely change your life. It's going to activate all the other angles in your chart. 10th house is a parental axis. It opposes the 4th house, the IC. So this means that this lunation is going to have an impact on one of your parents, most likely your father, because the 10th house rules over the more dominant parent. So essentially this means that you could have a brand new beginning with a parent, or with your standing in society, your job, with the government, basically how you're known by the public. So this means that you could have a brand new beginning in your job or the work that you do. If you've been unemployed for a while, this is probably the time that you're beginning a new job. If you've been wanting to start your own business, this is also the time that you could have a new beginning there. Perhaps this is a business venture that you're going to go into with your father. Ruling planet Venus is very involved at the time of this lunation, simply because she is transiting the sign of Cancer where this lunation is. There is a very wide conjunction. It's still in effect because she is in the sign of Cancer, Venus is the ruler of the transiting south node in your sign. This is what is going to make this lunation much more impactful for you, much more karmic. Venus is also squaring transiting Chiron in the sign of Aries. So perhaps there are some issues or old wounds that are going to be brought up at the time of this lunation. And these old wounds could have something to do with your partnerships, your marriage, or any kind of committed relationship that you have with another person. Venus is making a positive, harmonious aspect, a trine aspect to Saturn, who's transiting the sign of Pisces. To Saturn, who's transiting the sign of Pisces. This is a very supportive aspect. Saturn brings form and reality, longevity to whatever he touches. Saturn makes things happen. Saturn makes things stick. So this is an aspect that is going to really help you advance and be successful in your public area. Venus is also making two other positive aspects to her other sign that she rules, the sign of Taurus, where Mars and Uranus are currently transiting. And remember, Mars and Venus aspect is also a very supportive sextile that can bring some type of healing to your relationships. The other thing we have to remember is Mars is the ruler of the transiting north node. So the rulers of the transiting nodes are communicating in a very harmonious aspect, making it easier for us to go towards our future. Libra, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go back and listen to the whole introduction, because your ruling planet is highly active at the time of this lunation, and we're all experiencing a skipped step, a square to the nose, which is going to bring up past issues from this total solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, which is very important for you because this is your axis of relationships, and is also being triggered because this lunation is making squares to your MC and your IC and opposing your descendant. This is going to feel really karmic for you, Libra, but I think it's going to bring really positive change, positive brand new beginnings. I suggest that you wait to make brand new beginnings after the 7th of July, when your ruling planet Venus becomes visible. Scorpio ascendant, Sun or Moon. This lunation is happening in your 9th house. This is where you'll have brand new beginnings and perhaps some endings, because whenever we initiate, something has to come to an end. 9th house is a lucky house. This is the house that rules over our future. Most of you are looking at your future. You're trying to examine where you want to go, where you want to be in the next few years. This new moon is going to give you an opportunity to make brand new beginnings that will direct your future. The 9th house rules over the justice system. It rules over foreign lands, foreign languages. It rules over our priests, our gurus, our professors. It rules over universities and religions. It also rules over the justice system. You could have a brand new beginning in that you have decided to go to university. Perhaps you're the only one, perhaps you're going to be the first one in your ancestry who's going to get a college degree. Some of you could have a brand new beginning in your higher belief system, because the 9th house rules higher belief system. And this higher belief system is something that is passed down to us from somebody who we look up to, like our father, a priest, a guru, or somebody else who we admire. Some of you would also have a brand new beginning in a foreign country. Perhaps you get citizenship or green card to live in a to live and work in a foreign country. So you're probably going to be traveling after this lunation. Others of you could have a brand new beginning with the justice system. Perhaps you're initiating a lawsuit at the time of this lunation, or perhaps you're getting some type of conclusion in some part of a lawsuit. Your ruling planet Mars is a big part of this lunation, because he's aspecting this lunation with a sextile aspect from the sign of Taurus. A sextile aspect is an aspect of opportunity. So you have to use this energy. This is your energy. You're very familiar with this energy. Mars in the 7th house is dealing with your committed partnerships, your marriages, your relationships. So there is probably a lot that's going to be going on, because there's a lot that's being kicked up and reactivated in your Taurus house. So if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest you go back and listen to the introduction, because your ruling planet is highly active at the time of this lunation. And remember, your ruling planet is the ruler of the transiting north node in the sign of Aries. and there is a skipped step that is activated as a result of this lunation. We are all probably going to go back to attend to issues that we did not attend to, skipped issues in our Aries house, our 6th house. So there could be a concentration of events going on with your partner and with issues to deal with your 6th house. Your other ruling planet, Pluto, is not aspecting this lunation. However, at the time of this lunation, Pluto is opposing Mercury in the sign of Leo. So there is something going on, the probing investigation or deep evaluations, deep thinking, some type of deep investigation is going on here. This is not aspecting this lunation. This is something could probably be happening aside from this lunation. This is a positive lunation that could really determine which direction your future goes. So use this energy wisely to propel your future. I know you're dealing a lot with partnerships because there's a lot of energy concentrated in your partnership area. Scorpio squares Leo and Aquarius. So you're also being pushed into taking action when it comes to issues that are involved in those other houses. Scorpio, this lunation could absolutely change your life. It's working on your future, and it could be very karmic because both the rulers of the South and the North Node are involved in this lunation. Sagittarius, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 8th house. This is where you'll have a brand new beginning and perhaps some endings. And this is because whenever we begin something new, something has to come to an end. The 8th house is a deep house. This is also another house of endings. This is a house of secrets. And sometimes these secrets are secrets that we keep from ourselves. This is a psychological house. It is the house of death, sex, and taxes. This is the house of other people's money and earned income like mortgages, loans, inheritances, and windfalls. This is also the house of deep bonding, deep intimacy. So this means that some of you could have a brand new beginning because you've finally been approved for a mortgage and you're able to buy your first home. Others of you could have a brand new beginning in that they decide to deal with their deep hidden resentments. You decide to get some type of therapy and get healing that way. In that way, you're dealing with your deep hidden resentments, things you don't want to look at, but they have been brought up by this lunation for you to take care of. Some of you that have been in a long-term relationship for a while will have a new beginning in that time to move in with each other and start sharing resources. And this is going to help them bond on a deeper level, deeper intimacy. You don't have anyone depending on your finances and you're no longer supporting somebody else. Others of you could have a new beginning because you finally receive an inheritance, and some of you will receive this inheritance. Some of you are going to receive the inheritance as a result of somebody transitioning. This is, after all, the house of death and taxes. Others of you could have a brand new beginning because at this time you receive a huge tax bill that requires you to pay, that requires payment immediately. Your ruling planet Jupiter is currently transiting the sign of Gemini. He's not aspecting this lunation. You're probably dealing with whatever comes up as a result of this lunation, perhaps as a result of things that happen to other people. This is the way you're involved in this lunation. This is the way you're involved with other people's money. It's not something that you are personally initiating. Your new beginning is probably happening as a result of the actions that other people take. Your ruling planet is in positive communication with the ruler of Gemini, the sign that you're transiting. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. You are forming a very supportive sextile aspect to Mercury. This is an aspect of good news. So perhaps whatever is going on with others, whatever is brought up, highlighted as a result of this lunation, is going to have a very positive impact on your ability to access other people's resources, other people's finances. Capricorn, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 7th house. This is where you'll have a brand new beginning and perhaps an ending, simply because whenever we have a brand new beginning, something has to come to an end. The 7th house is an angle house. When an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. So this means that this lunation could absolutely change your whole life. The 7th house is the house of the other. This is the house of our committed partnerships, our marriages, our business partnerships. Any type of interaction or agreement that you have with another person is handled by this angle. The other people have the power at the time of this lunation. However, you also have a lot of say and power simply because Saturn, your ruling planet, is currently transiting the sign of Pisces retrograde and is aspecting this lunation in a trine aspect. So whatever is happening or beginning as a result of this lunation, you have a say, a very positive say. You can affect change that you want to see in this area of partnerships. So this means that some of you could have a brand new beginning with a marriage partner. Perhaps you've been facing some problems or challenges in the recent past, and perhaps you're going to decide to take care of the problems that you are having in order to elevate your relationship. Some of you who have been involved in a long-term relationship for a while are going to decide to elevate your relationship, get married, and have a brand new beginning in that way. Others are going to have a brand new beginning in a business agreement. Perhaps you're going to start a business perhaps you're going to start a business partnership at the time. Perhaps you're going to start a business partnership at the time of this lunation. Capricorn, I think this is a really positive new moon for you, simply because there's a lot of positive aspects, a lot of sextiles in the water signs and in the earth signs. You are an earth sign, so that means that you are impacting this lunation with a sextile aspect. That means you're going to have a lot of opportunities, brand new beginnings that you have a say in, and these new beginnings are going to bring things in your relationships that are going to stay there for a very long time to come, simply because Saturn is aspecting this lunation, and Saturn makes things solid. Saturn gives things longevity. However, we're all having to deal with the skipped step simply because this lunation squares the nose, and so perhaps there's something that we didn't initiate at the time of the total solar eclipse in Aries. Something needs your attention there. If you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go and listen to the introduction, because there's much more information that can help you decipher how this lunation is going to affect you according to your natal horoscope. Aquarius, ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 6th house. The 6th house is the house where you're going to have a brand new beginning and perhaps some endings. As we all know, whenever you begin something new, something has to come to an end. The 6th house is the house that rules over our daily routine. It rules over our health, our exercise habits. It rules over the work that we do on a daily basis. This is the house where we fight. 6th house also rules over our pets. So essentially this means that some of you could have a brand new beginning with a pet. It's a positive brand new beginning in that you're adopting a pet. The 4th house is also the house of endings. So unfortunately, some of you could be having an ending in that your pet transitions at the time of this lunation, and it's going to be very emotional for you. Others of you could have a brand new beginning in that perhaps you were working from home and now you're finally going back to work in the office. Or if you've been looking for work, this is the time that you would have a brand new beginning in that you're starting a new job at the time of this lunation. The 6th house rules over our known enemies, opposite the 12th house, which rules over our unknown enemies. So perhaps your known enemy is your bad habit. Perhaps you have a habit of smoking, drinking too much, or perhaps doing drugs, and the brand new beginning is that you're deciding to quit these bad habits. Perhaps you're getting some type of therapy, you're starting a diet in order to lose some weight, or you're starting a new medication that is going to help you lose weight. Your ruling planet Saturn is directly involved in this lunation. Saturn is aspecting this new moon with a trine aspect. A trine aspect is a very harmonious and supporting aspect. So things are going to happen easily and effortlessly, at least some of the things. Remember, we're having a square from this lunation to the transiting nose, and this is what we call a skip step in astrology. I'm going to ask you to look over what you failed to initiate at the time of the Aries total solar eclipse. So there is a challenge that is there for all of us, and we have to take care of this skip step. Whatever you initiate at the time of this lunation is something that is probably going to stay in your life for a very long time, because as we all know, we have the blessing of Saturn. Saturn is aspecting this lunation in a positive trine, and he's also aspecting Venus, who's conjunct this lunation. Venus is the ruler of the south node, and Mars is also aspecting this lunation. Mars is the ruler of the transiting north node. So this lunation is going to feel very karmic for a lot of us. It's going to feel very karmic for most of us. Your other ruling planet, Uranus, is aspecting this lunation by a sextile aspect. Uranus is currently transiting at around 25 degrees of Taurus, and hitting this lunation, aspecting Venus directly with a sextile aspect. You're still going to get the benefit of this aspect. Uranus is going to bring you opportunities, exciting opportunities. You are Uranus, you are Saturn, so you're very much part of this lunation. You have the ability to make decisions to direct the energy of this lunation. Pisces ascendant, sun or moon. This lunation is happening in your 5th house. This is where you'll have a brand new beginning and perhaps some type of ending, because whenever we have a brand new beginning, something has to come to an end. I love to see lunations in this house. It rules over our creative ability, and our greatest creation are our children. This is the house that rules over past life karma, good karma that is given to us in this lifetime to use. We don't have to work for this karma. We earned it in a past lifetime. So this karma is being activated at the time of this lunation. The 5th house also rules over our talents. It rules over our ability to take our talents to the next level. So some of you could have a brand new beginning with your children, or perhaps some of you are becoming a mother at the time of this lunation, so you have a brand new blessed beginning with your newborn child. Some of you could be getting pregnant at the time of this lunation, and others of you could be initiating a brand new business as a result of whatever transpires or whatever opportunities come up at the time of this lunation. The 5th house also rules over entertainment and romance. Others of you could be falling deeply in love as a result of this lunation. You could be starting a whirlwind romantic affair. Others of you could be going on vacation with your children or your entire family. And this could be a vacation to remember because of all the entertainment that is going to go on. Your ruling planet Jupiter is not involved in this lunation simply because he's transiting in the sign of Gemini, and Gemini does not aspect the sign of Cancer because they're next to each other, so they're not communicating. However, Jupiter is communicating with Mercury in a trine aspect. This is a very positive aspect. So whatever new beginnings happen at this time will be as a result of what's starting with other people, and those things are going to impact you in a positive way and possibly bring some type of good news. Because this is also very important because Mercury rules one of your angles, and so does Jupiter rules you. So when angle rulers are communicating in a harmonious way, in a trine aspect, they're bringing something really positive. They're bringing positive results. Your other ruling planet, Neptune, is not aspecting this lunation, directly, simply because Neptune is too far away from this lunation. However, Neptune is aspecting this lunation by a sign aspect, a trine aspect, very positive, harmonious energy that is flowing really harmoniously between the houses. So this is also something very positive. I really think Pisces is going to have a really positive experience as a result of this lunation. And let's not forget that Saturn is currently transiting your sign, and he's transiting retrograde. Saturn can be a very challenging transit on the ascendant, the moon, or the sun. It brings restriction. However, at the time of this lunation, Saturn is making a very positive aspect. It's a trine aspect to this lunation. Saturn is supporting whatever it is that you're going to initiate as a result at the time of this lunation. Saturn is going to give it longevity, stability, and Saturn is going to make it real. Pisces, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go back and listen to the entire introduction. This could possibly be a life-changing lunation for you. You could really make positive brand new beginnings as a result of whatever windows are going to open up, windows and doors are going to open up for you at this time.